Hello and welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I am your host, Audrey Williams. We're still in May, which means we're still working together as a community to protect the rights of our children. For this reason, we have a great deal of information to share with you today, and this includes inclusive learning experiences for all our children. So, stay with us. We'll be back after the news.
Young Jamaicans up to 35, your government will reserve up to 10% of NHT housing solutions over the next 5 years just for you with 100% financing up to 15 million Jamaican dollars. This is how we are empowering and breaking the cycle of poverty meaningfully. Your government is caring for you.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Friday, May 24, 2024. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the government is working to enforce building codes amid concerns over settlements on Gully banks. He addressed the matter on Thursday during a tour of his West Central St. Andrew constituency to view and participate in Labor Day activities there. Mr. Holness emphasized the importance of maintaining a 20-foot distance from gullies and drainage infrastructure for any new construction.
So enforcement is critical, and I know that the various municipal authorities are trying to enforce as best as possible. But there are communities like this community that started in the 50s where those kinds of town and country planning requirements were not stringently enforced.
The Prime Minister also highlighted ongoing plans to address infrastructure issues in the gully along Caladium Crescent in the Tower Hill community.
You can see that this gully was built with stones. So this is really stone masonry. Over the years, the joints, meaning the cement used to hold the stones together, would have deteriorated. And this is natural. Over time, it is going to break down. And as it bears the weight of the soil behind it, it's built for retaining purposes, the wall will collapse. But the invert, meaning the base of the gully, is also compromised. So you will have water going underneath the concrete base and eroding the total structure of this gully.
Government's premier training agency was seen on Labor Day putting heart back into the community. Across 6 regions and 17 locations, the Heart NSTA Trust workers utilized their various skill sets to support the Labor Day agenda.
It's very important to us to support every single member of society. We have deployed individuals from across the organization all over Jamaica because we believe in ensuring that every single Jamaican benefits from the Heart NSTA Trust. Individuals here with their various skills and competencies are utilizing those today for the most vulnerable.
We caught up with the regional director for the Kingston and St. Andrew area at the Stimulation Plus Child Development Center as they were constructing a garden to grow foods.
We had a recent presentation by Dr. Gill, who is in charge of this place, and we felt that this institution that caters to autism and other types of intellectual needs and disability needed an injection of the heart. So we felt it's a good place to leave our mark.
The Sangster International Airport SIA runway extension is being hailed as a major milestone for Jamaica. The extension forms part of a $70 million upgrading program at the Montego Bay-based airport that has increased the takeoff range from 2,662 to 3,060 meters. Minister of Transport Darrell Vaz says the airport is now able to accommodate larger aircrafts and more flights as a result. His speech was delivered by Chairman of the Airports Authority of Jamaica, Mark Hart, at the official opening of the enlarged strip.
Sangster International Airport plays a critical role facilitating the transit of more than 85% of the tourists arriving to the island. In 2023 alone, the airport served over 5.2 million passengers.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang, also commended the work of the stakeholders in the expansion project.
The extension to the Montego Bay Airport that now placed our airport as one of the finest in the Caribbean. not only in service, but it has the capacity to really absorb the long flights and keep Montego Bay as the center of tourism activity in Jamaica and one of the primary destinations in the Caribbean, and being able to handle all these new activities.
The Bank of Jamaica BOJ is reporting that 87% of banknotes now in circulation are the new polymer currencies. The new series of polymer Jamaican banknotes comprises upgraded $50, $100, $500, $1,000 and $5,000 notes, along with the newly introduced $2,000 note.
Over time, the old notes are being redeemed at Bank of Jamaica. I had said here some time ago that we are giving it a 2 years from issue date, which was last year, June, before we actually demonetize those old notes.
The BOJ's Deputy Governor also reveals that more Jamaicans are transitioning to digital payments.
When we look at value in terms of beneficiary payments, the RTGS, so that to me and to us at Bank of Jamaica is a sign in terms of the move away from cash to more digital payments using your debit cards, your credit cards, and of course your online transfers via the RTGS or the ACH.
Ms. Haynes was addressing the BOJ's quarterly monetary policy press conference on Tuesday. And finally, the government will be intensifying the national public education campaign on the rules of the road to reduce the high incidences of motor vehicle collisions and deaths. The announcement was made by Prime Minister Andrew Holness following a meeting of the National Road Safety Council. The campaign is expected to be funded by revenues generated from increased traffic ticket fines.
We recognize the need that there is this shift, not just in the number of vehicles, but also in the roadways. We have built several 100 miles of new roadways and new driving surfaces that some people are just not trained and don't have the driving culture to operate vehicles on these new road surfaces, on the new highways that are being built. And so the public education campaign has to be developed that will focus on the driving culture, which has safety as its key element.
Mr. Holness says the council will also be reviewing the threshold of alcohol in one's system to capture more people driving under the influence.
So that is something that we have decided to take a second look at. Other countries are moving towards reducing the threshold, and our threshold is at international standards, but at the higher end, and I think we should go down to a lower end.
And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
One of the problems that occurred in the past was the significant delay in the issuing of warrants for persons who did not pay at the tax office and did not attend the court. And so what happened there was that a culture of impunity had developed, where persons felt that when they received a ticket from the police, they could simply ignore it. So where we are now is that we are now current with the issuing of warrants in respect of the current cases. So what that means is that for persons who do not pay at the tax office, don't attend the court, the warrants are being issued and will be issued, and you will be arrested and brought before the court. If you do not wish to come to court, then go to the tax office. Also, you have the option of contesting it. So you don't pay at the tax office, but you must turn up at court on the date and time stated in the summons. Failing that, a warrant will be issued and you will be brought before the court.
Have you considered agro-processing as a future career option? If not, after seeing our upcoming feature, you may see how rewarding and sustainable that profession can be.
This institution, known for its remarkable performance in academics, skill training, and extracurricular activities, was one of the first 5 secondary schools to be upgraded in 1988. What school, you may ask? It's Gully High School, and today we'll be exploring career choices at their Career Day event.
thank you for being here at Gully High School, our creme de la creme institution since 1971.
Organizing a career day at school is a great approach to inspire students to explore alternative income earning options and expose them to a variety of industries. Here at Guys Hill, you will find the students engaged in various professional opportunities that can dramatically improve their chances and catapult them to new heights.
We showcase the different varieties of vegetables.
Among the many career paths explored at the school, agro-processing is regarded as one of the most promising options for students in the current economic climate.
We want our students to understand what agro-processing is all about. We are taking agricultural products and we are taking them either from fisheries, agriculture or forestry, and we're adding value to them, and we want them, the students, to understand that money can be made in agricultural science.
Putting that principle into action, the school's farm served as a source of raw materials for several of the products on display at their career day.
You're also going to see our agro-processing line, the many things that we process here at the Guys Hill High School, such as what we call, for example, our green juice, the lettuce juice that is sweetened with honey or sugar. And then we have the schoolboys protein punch that we have available to ensure that our students have energy and that they're able to do well in teaching and learning at this school.
My name is Chadraeli and this is our schoolboys protein punch. We have one that is sweetened with honey and one that is sweetened with sugar. What is contained in it? We have boiled chicken breast and we have oats, spices, milk.
I want to pursue agro-processing as a career because I want to contribute to the growth and development of the country, and without agro-processing that is not possible. So like agriculture processing helps reduce famine and poverty, and those are the big things that make the country undeveloped. So that's the reason why.
Here are some things students must think about when considering agro-processing as a future career. 1. Be open to learning new technologies and stay updated on the latest trends to remain competitive. 2. Understand the importance of sustainable agro-processing practices. This could be anything from practices that minimizes waste or reduce energy consumption to adhering to ethical labor standards. Another thing, you must research the market to find out about emerging new products, consumer preferences, and global trade trends to find your niche. And naturally, if you want to gain a head start, you should pursue degrees in fields like food science, agricultural engineering, or business administration.
We want our students to consider agro-processing because there's money to be made. They just need a small startup, and we have so many different options that's out there.
Students, agro-processing is all about coming up with a concept, developing a product with value added, and promoting that product all the way to the consumers.
It tastes awesome!
Just look at the advantages of pursuing a career in agricultural processing.
Remember that we are taking products originating from agriculture, fisheries and forestry. We're adding value to that product so that we can make money, there'll be job creation, there'll be food security for this entire nation.
By pursuing education and gaining practical experience in agro-processing, students can contribute significantly to the sustainable development of the agriculture sector while building rewarding careers for themselves.
With its abundant fertile land, Jamaica has the potential to further develop its agricultural sector and helping to expand future economic growth and business opportunities. By investing in agriculture, Jamaica can position itself as a hub for sustainable development and prosperity. And so the ministry has provided agricultural incentives for farmers and farming enterprises to strengthen the industry.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, in its continuing effort to support Jamaican farmers and foster economic growth, is offering an incentive program. Currently, the ministry has 3 incentives for farmers and farming enterprises.
The approved farming enterprise, which has 2 parts, productive input relief, which we call PIR, the income tax relief. We also have 20% duty concession on vehicles for use in agriculture. And we also offer additional stamp duty waivers on raw materials for manufacturers. For approved farming enterprise PIR, this allows waivers on applicable duties and taxes on certain inputs for the production of primary products used in the course of conducting farming operations in 5 categories. The first category is agricultural crops, livestock, poultry, or dairy. And when we say production of primary products, we mean the cultivation, growth, breeding or rearing, or otherwise activities in these categories. Apiculture is another category, forestry, horticulture, and aquaculture. To be a beneficiary of the 20% duty concession incentive as well as the approved farming enterprise incentive, farmers or farming enterprises must be registered with the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA. The application process for PIR, the first step is for the farmer or farming enterprise to apply through their parish, RADA parish office. The application is then sent to the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, and we make a recommendation on your behalf to the Jamaica Customs Agency. The Jamaica Customs Agency conducts a verification visit and approval is given by them. This benefit is received at the port. The other part of the approved farming enterprise, income tax relief, through the Income Tax Act, it allows farmers or farming enterprises that can write off their losses incurred on the farm against profits of another trade or business. The process for this is, once again, you apply through RADA. The ministry makes a recommendation to the Tax Administration of Jamaica and the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. Once this is done, a certification will be given by the Minister of Finance. For the 20% duty concession on vehicles used in agriculture, we have a criteria, of course. The first requirement is to have a minimal annual production gross return of 250,000. And then we have minimum requirements in terms of crops and livestock. So for example, for food crops, 3 acres at least, vegetables, at least 2 acres, goats, 300, pigs, coffee, 3 acres, and all of this is available on RADA's website. For farms 1 to 10 acres, you're entitled to 1 vehicle. For farms 11 to 49 acres, 2 vehicles. And for farms over 50, you're entitled to 3 vehicles. And we must emphasize that the vehicles eligible are trucks, commonly known as pickups, not panel vans. The CC rating has a limit for gasoline 3,000 and for diesel 3,200. This process, once again, we show the importance of being registered with RADA. You apply through your RADA office. The ministry then makes a recommendation to the Jamaica Customs Agency. This is valid for 6 months. And then you will collect your copy from us and you take that to your dealer.
These incentives are intended to encourage farmers to save exponentially while opening new opportunities for expansion. To apply for these incentives, visit your local RADA office for more details. Now, begin to grow through incentives.
We are hoping that the time will come to be able to track these cars.
Hello, the house are burned down.
And punish those who are doing this.
All too frequently, a unit is unavailable for an actual fire emergency, merely because it is responding to a false alarm.
And it results in most instances to a waste of resources that could be used for more productive purposes. So I want to encourage members of the public to desist from this practice. We tend to see a spike in false alarm calls during the summer when the kids are home. Because they are home, they have their cell phone and they see it as fun to dial whether 110 or 119 to say that there's a fire somewhere. So I want to encourage parents to pay attention to that as well.
Transforming education through technology is the next stage in the process to improve our learning experiences. With that in mind, the government is aiming to create an inclusive education system by endorsing an accessible digital textbook.
With just a touch,
with just a swipe, our youth are now able to learn on any device.
With the help of UNICEF's Technical Working Group and the Ministry of Education and Youth Special Education Unit, our young people now have access to digital textbooks. The Universal Design for Learning (UDL) methodology, which is central to accessible digital textbooks (ADT), has allowed for the venture to take root. The first 2 fully accessible books were released in late September 2022 to allow for greater inclusion of students with disabilities. Now this time around, all students will have access to high-quality, interactive digital textbooks in a variety of languages, including Jamaican Sign Language.
We are very happy to see technology transforming education, particularly in areas where children did not have the accessibility. The integration of technology into education is the next frontier. There is a fear that somehow technology, with all its advancements in artificially developing intelligence, could replace or minimize the role of the teacher. That is absolutely not the case when it comes to education. It means that the teacher now has a more powerful tool with which they can exercise their duties. And of course, you know, it introduces new challenges into the classroom, right? But it also introduces greater opportunities for engagement.
My name is Ari Jones and I am from Danny Williams School for the Deaf.
Ari and others have access to 2 books that were transformed into ADT format for the Jamaican pilot using UDL principles, My Brain is My Boss, and Harriet Hen and the Hawk. Little Harry is using the My Brain is My Boss ADT book to help him grasp the relationship between the brain and the body.
In this effort, we are working to make sure that no one is left behind, and the population that is in our most concern is the disability population. As you know, we have a lot of barriers in the country for this population to enter to the education system yet. But I want to have the opportunity to congratulate the government for the recent passed Disability Act, which paved the way for this population to really have their rights granted in the country.
The Disabilities Act came into effect on February 14, 2022. This followed its approval in 2014 and the affirmation of the Disabilities Regulations in 2021.
Whatever you do, don't be this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your lifeguard speaking. For your safety and that of those around you, please listen carefully to what I'm going to say next. Whenever possible, swim at a beach with a lifeguard on duty or where signs indicate that swimming is safe. 2. This should probably be number 1, but learn how to swim. 3. Stay in the designated swimming area. 4. Read and follow all guidelines and never swim alone. 5. If you fall into difficulty, raise your hand in the air and call for help. 6. Pay attention to local weather conditions and forecasts. 7. If you observe someone in distress, tell a lifeguard, or if you don't see one, phone 119 or 110 and request a Coast Guard. And before you swim off with this information, my friend Bernard has another tip for you.
Everywhere you go, and you see a fishing vessel like those small ones up there in the harbour, anywhere you go and see those small vessels, that's the safest area to swim.
Child abuse isn't just about black eyes. While physical abuse is shocking due to the mark it leaves, not all signs of child abuse are as obvious.
Yeah, true.
Ignoring a child's needs, putting them in unsupervised, dangerous situations, exposing them to sexual situations, or making them feel worthless or stupid are also forms of child abuse and neglect. And these treatments that are all too frequently meted out to our children can and do leave deep, lasting scars on our children. We do not want any of our children abused.
No.
Not a boy child, not a girl child, no one.
We've reached the end of our program. Get a recap of everything you saw here and more on our website, jis.gov.jm. I'm Audrey Williams. Bye for now.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.